Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson here, coming to you once again from Corrales, Monday nights from 7 until 8 o'clock. We're out here for Buffs Prime Time. Coming up this week on the Buffalo Stampede, talking all kinds of men's basketball. Big victory over Utah. We talk with the current Pac-12 Player of the Week, KJ Simpson, Associate Head Coach Mike Rohn, also connect with Strength and Conditioning Coach Steve Engelhardt, and the McDonald's All-American Cody Williams, all this week on the Buffalo Stampede. Are 1 of 6 on the field. KJ drives in under the bucket, reverse layup as he blew by Madsen. Layup is up and good for KJ. He's got 5 and he goes over 1,200 points in his career. Brian to the left elbow, plays it left side to KJ. Sets the feet, fires a 3 right between the eyes from downtown. KJ's got 10. Buffs on top by 10. KJ Simpson, outstanding at 28 points, leading the Buffaloes as they get the victory by 24 over the Utes of Utah. Here at the Event Center, hi everybody, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Welcome to the Buffalo Stampede. 528 points in the season. That's climbing up the ranks. But we were just talking beforehand. You said, I wanted to win. You got to win. That was a great mental game by you guys to come out and be that intense from, I guess, the opening tip-off.
I started in practice. In practice we had a great mentality, great sense of urgency to understand what happened last time we played them, watch film, get better. And, this week of preparation helped a lot. But credit to the team, we came out ready to play. But 4 turnovers this ball game, by the way. That matches the record all time for Colorado in a conference game. Go back to 2010 at Iowa State. 4 turnovers. Tad came out and I said something about him being happy about that. He said apparently begging works because he's been on you guys all season. He made it a point of emphasis in the practice after New Mexico played Colorado State and told us that New Mexico only had 4 turnovers. Okay. And so we came out, we were given 4 turnovers. Yeah. This team right off the bat, to talk about the intensity though, I thought it really showed itself on the defensive end, didn't it? Yeah, and like I said, the practice we had, it was a really good defensive practice for us. I mean, we understood that, the way we played at Utah, when we pressured them towards the end, things started to go our way and we needed to play like that for 40 minutes and we came out here and we did that. Very rarely do we do a ball game where I see somebody on the court as quick as this guy. I'm not saying he's any quicker, but Davon Smith, that's a heck of a matchup between the two of you. Most definitely. I got utmost respect for him. He's been doing great things in this league. Obviously, he's almost like a triple-double threat. I mean, he loves rebounding the ball, loves finding guys, and he's really fast. And so when I get a chance to go up a good guard like that and test, see where I'm at, it's great. Yeah, the Buffaloes get the 24-point win as they knock off the Utes here at the Event Center. Afterward, we heard from head coach Tad Boyle. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Celebrate responsibly.
Look, you go into these games this time of year in mid-February, and you don't expect, to win going away by, we were up 30 at one point and kind of limped out there when we subbed. But yeah, it was a great, just a great performance by our guys. I thought KJ tonight, was doing what he's doing all year for us, and Javon Hadley was phenomenal, both offensively and defensively. We made the switch to put him on Madsen in the second half. Cody rolled his ankle, so he was not at 100%. We started a game with him, on Madsen, and he had 16 in the first half, and he ends up with 18. So credit goes to Javon with his defensive effort, and again. Tristan Da Silva, I know he didn't shoot the ball well tonight, but his defensive presence on Brandon Carlson was terrific, and he got some help. We want to make Brandon Carlson feel uncomfortable when he catches the ball on the block. He's 7 feet tall, he's really skilled, and we also want to make him feel uncomfortable on the perimeter when he catches it. So guys did a good job of that. It's just a good win, for February. 19 assists, 4 turnovers. I told Mark Johnson on the radio, obviously my literally begging this team to take care of the ball, finally worked. Took most of the season and certainly most of the conference season, but they had to have four turnovers in a conference game is pretty special. That's the head coach Tad Boyle after the Buffaloes get the 24-point win over the Utes and continue to put now
one victory after another as they try to build an NCAA tournament resume. Got Cal coming up on Wednesday. We continue here with KJ Simpson. The year you're having right now, KJ, this seems like the confidence you got out there. Like you're under control in your game. Does it feel that way?
Yeah, most definitely. It was just a mentality thing with me. You know, towards the end of last season, when I was playing with mono and I didn't even know, and just not being able to finish the season, you know, I had a lot of mental challenges.
Yeah.
And my parents was there for me. You know, my girlfriend and her family. You know, close circle was there for me. And but I saw how everybody else reacted, and it's kind of like everyone forgot about me.
Yeah.
So when I come out this season, I wanted to prove, you know, everybody wrong, and just show that I am, you know, someone whose name should be talked about in this, you know, if you will.
Well, to that point, Tad Boyle and I were talking at Buffs Primetime last week at Corelli's. We got talking about you coming up, and he said early on, KJ gets here, you follow a very good guard, and McKinley Wright. Mm-hmm. And he said, I think KJ got tired of hearing McKinley. And as Tad and I were talking, I said, you know, KJ's now developed and you've grown to the point that when you leave here, Tad's going to talk to everybody about KJ Simpson now. You do understand that, right?
Yeah. No, McKinley's just a heck of a player. You know, he's my big brother. And, you know, anytime I could get comparisons to a player like that, you know, it's unbelievable and remarkable, you know.
But KJ, isn't that what this is all about? You're inspired by a guy, you learn from a guy, you take over, you've got to grow, then you grow to a player, and now you'll hand the baton off to somebody else down the road here,
It's all about learning, and it's crazy, you know, to think I'm a junior now, but looking back, you know, I've learned so much, I've mentally matured so much, you know, I'm just thankful to, you know, be at Colorado and, you know, have followed great leaders and great guys before me.
Yeah, and now he's a great player here at the University of Colorado. Weird split this week, Wednesday, Sunday. You got Cal coming in on Wednesday night. Give us a thought about, a comment about that.
Yeah, obviously, you know, remember the last time we played them earlier in the season, real hard, gritty team. They're not going to quit, and we should know that best out of anybody, so we just have to come out here and sort of play the same way that we did tonight.
Do you guys think at all about building a resume, or do you think about next game?
No, next game. Next game. You can't. Obviously, we're not oblivious to it. We understand what's at stake, but we can't, you know, look long term right now. Next game, one game at a time.
Great player, KJ Simpson for the Buffaloes. He leads the Buffs with 28. They get the 24-point win over the Utes. We'll take a timeout. Coming up next here in the Buffalo Stampede, Associate Head Coach Mike Rohn will join us. KJ comes out the curl screen, jump pass inside. Eddie goes with a tomahawk with the right side. It's shaking right now in the western slope. He hammered that one with the right hand. Eddie's got 7. Buffs on top, 68-49 with 10.5 to play. Now the Buffs get a dominating 24-point win. Big Eddie Lampkin had a very nice game for Colorado. 1 of 4 Buffs in double digits. Back at the Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Associate Coach Mike Rohn joining us for a couple of minutes. That was, I thought, from start to finish, about as solid a game as we've seen in a while from the Buffaloes.
Yeah, I was really pleased with the guys. We had a good week of preparation.
Yeah.
They did a really good job. We had a couple days off, get a little rest, and then Thursday and Friday we had really good practices. So that typically means you're going to probably play a little better.
You know, this time of year too, Mike, everyone knows every game is like gold. It's precious right now, isn't it?
Oh, in February, it's you know, Coach says all the time, it's hard to win big games in February, you know, when games that matter. And luckily we're in a position where these games really matter, and I was really proud of the guys tonight. Javon
Hadley had 17 points in the first half. Really set the tone for the Buffaloes, didn't he?
He was amazing. He was amazing on defense too. You know, he's just a guy that kind of goes under the radar sometimes, but he's been as consistent as anybody on our team this year. He took on a challenge after halftime guarding Madsen.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't start the game that way, but after halftime when Cody kind of got hurt, you know, we were like, hey, he wants him, you know, we got to shut this guy down. He did an amazing job, so you know, really proud of him.
Yeah, Madsen had 16 the first half, I think 2 or 3 or so in the second. He's one of those players, you just mentioned it, that gets overlooked on occasion. Yeah. He's a player that puts up nice numbers. He's so solid. Coaches never underappreciate him, but fans miss it sometimes.
Oh, absolutely, you know, because he does so many little things.
Yeah.
You know, he boxes out, he's shooting great from the foul line. You know, he's a guy we can count on every day.
Yeah. Eddie Lampkin, saw the highlights off the top there. You work with the big guys. I thought maybe had as good a game as we've seen for a while.
Yeah, he needed that. You know, he was coming off a game at USC. He wasn't real happy with the way he played. But a good bounce back for him there. You know, he did a really good job. He made his free throws, and really proud of him.
Yeah, Buffs get a nice win by 24. They knock off the Utes, and afterward, post-game press conference, we heard from some players.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and it especially starts at practice. We had a good week of practice. You know, we got after it, and we really locked in. We know we pride ourselves on defense and rebounding, but we worked a lot on our offense this week as well, and it showed tonight for sure. We didn't play Utah not too long ago, so Utah was kind of fresh in our minds. We know their personnel. That's a big thing that Coach prides, everything on. It's just knowing your personnel, knowing who's a shooter, who's a driver, and we really locked in. And tonight it showed. And Madsen got hot there early. We made some adjustments, and we were able to shut him down. And I'm not sure how many points he had in the second half, but it wasn't compared to his first half points at all. Just limiting his touches. He can't score if he doesn't have the ball. We talk about that all the time, and Tristan did a good job early. Just getting him out of it. He got a couple shots up, but they weren't falling, so he kind of shied away from it. And just shout out to our defense overall, because we've been working on it. We know we were aware of him. We were aware, obviously, of what he can do, and he's hurt a lot of teams this year, so we couldn't let that happen to us tonight.
Well, there's some of the players after the Buffaloes get a 24-point win over the Utes. We continue with Associate Head Coach Mike Rohn here for a couple of minutes. What can we say about KJ Simpson, the way he's playing this season anymore?
He's just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he played with 3 fouls for how long today? Guarding Davion Smith is a really difficult task. So, I mean, I'm just amazed at the year he's having.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me at the start of the year, was he going to be playing this well? I don't know if anybody would imagine
Sure.
that. And he's just consistent. He does it every night. He never gets tired. We're riding him pretty hard, but he's fully capable of doing it. He's built that way.
The one thing you never question with KJ, by the way, is his effort. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Tad and I were talking the other day, and I said, you've had back-to-back between McKinley and KJ, 2 of the best 6'2" and under rebounders I've ever seen in college basketball.
Yeah, he's a fun kid to coach.
Yeah.
We're very lucky that he's here, and I'm excited for him because he worked really hard this summer.
All right. The number I think that probably had to jump off the page for you guys was 4 turnovers. Wasn't
that nice?
How about that?
Hey, we've been preaching to him a long time about it, and tonight they found a way to do it.
Yeah.
And every team's better when you don't turn it over. So. Yeah. Hopefully we're trending the right way right now. 4
turnovers, 19 assists in this ball game. Buffs get that victory. As this thing kind of unfolds now, we know as we're talking about every game this type of year extremely important. They got Cal coming in. I don't think anybody would have thought when we saw them the first time going into that ball game, they'd be sitting here with a winning record of Pac-12 conference play. This is not going to be an easy out on Wednesday.
No, it is not. After we played them there, they started playing really well leading up to that game. They've got really good personnel, and Coach Madsen does a great job. We've seen that up close and personal last year with Utah Valley. So it's going to be a heck of a game. It's a big game. I'm just glad we're at home, and excited for Wednesday night.
The Buffs continue to make a push here late in the season. Associate Head Coach Mike Rohn joining us here for a couple of minutes. When we come back to the other side, we're going to talk with the strength and conditioning coach, Steve Engelhardt, at Corelli's, coming up next. Hey, how about the track and field team? The Buffalo's track and field squad concluded the 2-day Ken Shannon Last Chance meet with a record-breaking performance on Saturday at the Dempsey Indoor Fieldhouse. Emma Pollock, Avery McMullen, Joy Moore, and Abby Glenn combined for a remarkable time of 3 minutes, 35.63 seconds, shattering the CU women's 4x400 indoor school record. What an amazing accomplishment for track and field. Out here at Corelli's once again. We're out here Mondays from 7 until 8 o'clock for Buffs Prime Time. Joining us this week is really one of the unsung heroes in all of athletics. But for our basketball program, Steve Engelhardt is a strength and conditioning coach, does phenomenal work with our basketball teams and other squads as well. And he joined us out here at Corelli's. Powered by Ford. Cars, trucks, and SUVs built for America. Built Ford proud. That position.
Yeah.
For you coaches is extremely important.
Oh, it's critically important.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt. And he's the guy that has a relationship with the players that's a little bit different than the coach-player relationship. And he's also, with the players in the off season a lot. And he has to gain their trust, which Steve does a great job of because he's very knowledgeable in what he does. He's very energetic in what he does. And the thing I've always appreciated about him is he makes guys enjoy being in the weight room, which is a hell of a challenge. Today's student athlete, I think if they understand the why, why am I doing this lift? Why do you have me doing this exercise? Steve's really good at explaining why. And I think we have to do that on the basketball floor. He has to do it in the weight room. And then he's got to push those guys, and he does a great job of that. I could argue he's probably the best hire I've made since I've been here. What he's done for our program on and off the court, you can't put into words, and it's really hard to
to describe unless you're in the program.
I knew Steve would get my body right for the games. That was a huge thing for me, just obviously because I need to put on weight and get stronger. So the strength and conditioning program was top of my list.
Your role is unique with this team. I mean, your role, they bring in the guys and the athletes and Jay, they bring them all into you guys in that weight room, and it's here's the raw material, make something out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it all starts with, you got some guys that are transferring in, you got some guys that, are coming in here as a freshman, and when they come in here as a freshman, you like the first month, 2 months, we need to teach them discipline and habits. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing that these young men need is discipline and habits, and then once you take care of that, it becomes a culture. And I think that's where, from when Coach Boyle hired me, and I know his mindset. I know he's it's a blue-collar, hard-working team, and that's how I am. And it's like, hey, we got to teach discipline. We're going to teach habits. We're going to teach you how to take care of your body because everybody's so different. You got a guy like Cody, 6'8", with the 7'2" wingspan. You got KJ, 6'2", and with some shoulder problems right now. So you're like, what do we have to do to keep them on the hardwood?
Sure. Yeah. You've had guys come through. McKinley comes to mind, who is just a son of a gun in the weight room, right? I mean, he just busted his tail all the time. And you get guys on the other end of the spectrum that you got to kind of motivate at times, don't you?
Yeah. You got some guys that love it, and you got some guys that you have to go down and grab them. Yeah. Love Jabari Walker. And I had to go grab him a couple of times from the locker room. Right. And, his dad thanked me for that, but it was not always easy. It's not always easy I think Coach said that in the beginning of the show. It's not always easy to finish practice and have to go hit the weights. And, I do try and make it competitive and fun. And, sometimes they don't like me, but they love me at the end of their career because they realize what they need for their body.
By the way, some of those NBA guys come back and work with Steve during the offseason. That's how much they loved what he did with them. There was a time in prehistoric times where basketball players didn't lift weights because they said it's going to affect your shot. None of that is true. You can't play this game anymore without being in the weight room, can you?
Now, you got to be physical now. That shows in the NBA. That shows in college now. I mean, you have to be physical. That's because the guys that hit the weights in the offseason probably didn't work on their shot. And that's why their shot got messed up. So,
right.
I hope if you lift, you have to shoot. You got to keep your rhythm up. You got to keep your shooting game up.
You've probably heard me say this in a broadcast. When somebody goes through contact, scores a bucket, I always say on the air, that's a Steve Englehart play. Nobody is jumping higher on the sidelines when somebody gets a real physical rebound and goes on up than this guy right here. That makes your night, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah. I count the and-ones, especially. Well, they got to make it. When they get the and-ones, now when they miss it, and it's like I get pretty frustrated with it. But, hey, you need to come hit the weight room. You would have made it if you would have hit the weight room this week. You would have hit it harder. You would have had it.
There's the strength and conditioning coach, Steve Englehart, for the CU men's basketball program back here in the Stampede out of Corelli's. Monday nights from 7 until 8 o'clock. We're out here. Joining us next is the McDonald's All-American, freshman for the Buffs men's basketball team, Cody Williams.
Number one, we've had our eye on you for a long time, Blake, and your family. So I've been watching you, and it's a great day to be a Buff. It's a great day to join our Buff family. We welcome you with open arms. Blake's been around a little bit. He's come to some pregame meals. He's been to some games. So today's a day we can kind of commemorate everything with signing you to a letter of intent. Congratulations, and welcome to the Buff family.
Absolute honor for us to become part of the team, especially for Blake. As Coach said, we've been to practically all your games so far, and what we definitely see is just the amount of hard work and perseverance and dedication that you guys show to every single game. And to me, that just kind of represents also what we see in Blake, just when he faces his everyday challenges just to get out the door and live a normal life. And so we're hoping that we can form a really great relationship with you guys, and we can inspire each other just to kind of be the best that we can.
Please know that you are as inspiring to us as hopefully we are to you.
Well, there's the newest signee for the men's basketball program. That's Blake from Team Impact. Welcome to the Colorado Buffaloes. Back here in the Stampede at Corelli's, Monday nights from 7 until 8 o'clock. Joining us this week during our players segment was the McDonald's All-American, Cody Williams from Gilbert, Arizona. What a phenomenal young player for the Buffaloes. And he joined us here at Corelli's talking men's basketball and his freshman campaign. First off, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, especially after that Utah win. So
Yeah.
now it's just time to stack those wins going into the tournament.
Yeah. We were just talking to you. You stepped on a foot out there in the middle of one of the plays. That's what unrolled it. And you came back out in the second half. You looked like you were hobbling a little bit, but you had a couple of big buckets down the stretch.
Yeah, that one I kind of just had to tough out, but I've been getting treatment, seeing Steve and Raleigh, so I'm all good to go.
What's this season been like for you? You come out of high school, all the hoopla, McDonald's All-American. How's this year been for you?
I'd say it's definitely been an adjustment just as far as getting used to playing at the college level, just the speed and the physicality. It was a huge jump, but I think, kudos to my coaches and strength coaches and just the whole staff preparing me, to play at this level. Always watching film, always making sure I'm getting extra work so that way I can get acclimated to it. So, once I got used to just playing at this level and this altitude, I could just hit the ground running.
You had so many options coming out of high. Could have gone anywhere. Why Colorado?
One thing, I love Coach Tad and just the whole coaching staff, just because I knew they had my back no matter what, especially if some things like I wasn't hitting the ground running, if I didn't start off good, if I were to get injured, God willing I don't get injured, but as you saw it happen, I knew they'd still have my back and believe in me 100%. I knew Steve would get my body right for the games. That was a huge thing for me, just obviously because I need to put on weight and get stronger. So the strength and conditioning program was top of my list. And then just that altitude, I felt like it'd be a huge advantage. We go down to, sea level. We're just flying around the court. And I knew our team would be good. Like, we have Tristan and KJ returning. I knew we were going to work on getting Eddie Lampkin. And, you have Javon Hadley, Luke, Julian. So we had all the right pieces, and I just felt like I fit in really good with them.
What's the best part about being a college student here in Boulder, Colorado?
I say honestly just meeting the people. Really the best part about being a college student is being a college student, just going around talking to people, meeting new people in classes, getting to know your professors, just going outside and interacting with people. I think that's like one of the little things that a lot of athletes take for granted, but really just living that college life and meeting new people is like the biggest thing.
Well, I was going to say that experience, you must be enjoying that. There's so much attention on you, so much talk about the NBA. Are you kind of just enjoying the fact that you're in college and kind of the social aspect of it, being around students?
For sure, especially like outside of basketball, just hanging with my teammates. We'll go out and hang out somewhere and people recognize us. And it's just that feeling, those little moments that you kind of take for granted, going out to eat with them, going to a party with them or just going out and hanging out.
There's the McDonald's All-American Cody Williams for the men's basketball team joining us out here at Crowley's. Around here Mondays from 7 until 8 o'clock for Buffs Prime Time. He is a fantastic player. He can do big things in the NBA. By the way, the men's basketball team wraps up their home slate on Sunday. Stanford in town Sunday night. That'll be senior day for the Buffaloes. That's a 7 o'clock ball game. That'll wrap it up this week in Buffalo Stampede. I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.